Good morning. Today we will discuss about linear and non-linear element. Myself, Dr. Praveen Kumar Misra, Assistant Professor, Government Engineering College, Raipur. What is a linear and non-linear element? Okay, an element is said to be an element is said to be linear if if its characteristic if its characteristic this one is the xy plot. If its characteristic it passes through if its characteristic is passes through origin as a straight line. An element is said to be linear if its characteristic is passes through origin as a straight line. Okay. Otherwise, element is referred as nonlinear element. An element is said to be linear if its characteristic is passes through origin. This one is a VI plot, and if it is a current density J equal to sigma E and Q equal to C into V, if we are considering this one is a QV and psi equal to Li I. Here, this one is the slope of this plot is R. This one is the phi. Slope of this is sigma C N. Okay. Okay. I think this one, if an element is said to be linear, if its if its characteristic if its characteristic is passes through origin as a straight line, said to be linear. Otherwise, it will be nonlinear. The important point is that characteristic of linear element always follow always follows superposition rule. What is superposition rule? It is a combination of it is a combination of additivity rule and homogeneity rule. You will get the information of about signal system or data system. If it will not be there, then we will discuss it later with the suitable examples. Okay, this is the means how we can classify the linear and non-linear element as per the characteristic. Now we will discuss what is unilateral and bilateral element or elements. And an element is said to be bilateral if its characteristic offer same impedance in all the direction. If its characteristic offers same impedance in all the direction. Like uh, if you want to consider which type of element it is, okay, which type of element it is, and this is the characteristic of an element, which type of element it is, and what will be the type of element it is. This one is the VI plot of different elements. Okay. What is bilateral element? Bilateral elements offer same impedance in the only direction. If it is not offering same impedance in the only direction, then it will be a unilateral. Okay. So here, how many uh, quadrant are there? Quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So here, if we want to know the characteristic, what type of characteristic here? Here impedance will be current I is positive in this, and voltage is also positive in this. So impedance will be positive, and here current I is negative, voltage V is positive. So impedance is what? Impedance is what? V upon I. So here V is positive but I is negative, so it will be negative. And here in this situation, V is negative, I is negative, means Z will be positive. And here same, I is negative but sorry, V is negative and I is positive. In this case, it will be negative. Okay. So the characteristic is what? The it is in quadrant 1. Quadrant 1 means impedance is positive, and other characteristic is this. In this one is the quadrant 3, this one is positive, means it is offering same impedance in all the direction. That's why this will be a that's why this will be a bilateral element. Okay. And here impedance is negative. From here quadrant 2 impedance will be negative, so here Z is negative, and here in this case also from here quadrant 4 Z will be negative. So this will be same, means offer same impedance in all the direction. This type of element will be bilateral element. Okay. If we will see about this, here Z is positive, and here in quadrant 2 Z will be negative. So this will be which type of element? It will be unilateral element. Okay, I think it is clear. Now we have to what other characteristic also. This is the one characteristic of an element. This is the element of characteristic of an second element. This is the characteristic of other element. This is the characteristic of other element. If we are considering uh, this one will be figure A, figure B, figure C, figure D, figure E, figure F, figure C. Here, which type of same we are considering that this one is y-axis V, I, V, I, V, I, V, I. So you have to find out which type of element it is. Which type of element it is. We already know that in first quadrant Z will be positive. In second quadrant Z will be negative. In third quadrant Z will be positive. In fourth quadrant Z will be negative. So we know that here impedance is what? Impedance is here. Here impedance is what? V is 0. Z equal to V upon I. Na? Here V is 0. I is something. But here Z will be equal to 0. And here Z is what? Positive. It is not offering same impedance in all the direction. That's why this will be unilateral element. Unilateral element. This will be the characteristic of an unilateral element. And here in this case, this one is what? Z equal to 0. Z is positive. Here also Z is positive. And here Z equal to Z is not 0. Z is something constant. So it is offering same characteristic in all the direction. That's why it will be a characteristic of an bilateral element. Okay. And here in this case Z is what? Z is constant. Here Z is positive. Here also Z is positive. It is not offering same impedance in the all the direction. That's why it will be a unilateral element. Characteristic of an unilateral element. And here same characteristic is there. Yeah, okay, that's why this will be a characteristic of a bilateral element. Okay, we can classify according to this. I think it is clear. If you want to know the linear and non-linear, that is how you can classify it. An element is said to be linear if its characteristic passing from origin and straight line passing from origin. That's why it is not following the statement. That's why it will be a non-linear. It is a characteristic passing from origin, but it is not a straight line. That's why it becomes non-linear. Same condition applying here. If it will not be, if this part will not be there, in that case it will be a linear. But because this part is there, that's why it will be a non-linear. And you can see it easily. This one is not a linear. That's why non-linear. Not a straight line, no? Non-linear. Okay. I think it is clear. Means how we can classify the uh, elements. Okay. And what is the criteria for active and passive element? An element is said to be active if its characteristic of a different impedance in different region, or an element is said to be passive if its characteristic of a positive impedance in all the direction. Okay, it should positive impedance in all the direction means that will be passive. Here this will is zero and it is offering positive impedance. That's why it will be a passive element. Means element is said to be passive if it will offer positive impedance in all the direction. It is offering positive impedance in all the direction, that's why it will be called passive. This one will also be passive because it is offering positive impedance in all the direction. Here this one is also, it will be a passive, and this one will also be passive because it is offering positive impedance in all the direction. I think all these things are clear. Means what are the linear element, active element, passive element, and unilateral element, bilateral element. Okay. Now we will discuss about if how we can obtain the power absorbed by an element. This one is the 2 ohm resistance, and that one is 10 volt, and this one is 5 volt. Then your objective is that what will be the total power, overall power in this network. Overall power in this network. What will be the value of this? Okay. So in that case, we first we have to find out that what is the what will be the power absorbed by resistor. Power absorbed by resistor will be P equal to I square into R. If it will be a Inductor, in that case it will be a I square into XL. If it is capacitor, in that case it will be I square into XL. All the passive elements will absorb the power. All passive elements will absorb the power. And active element like a voltage source, voltage source, current source. Generally, they are delivering the power, delivering power. Passive element will absorb the power, and active element will deliver the power. Okay, but generally, those things are happening under certain condition. Like this one is the voltage source, voltage source of magnitude V. If current is flowing from leaving the leaving from positive terminal, and what will be the case? And if current will entering a positive terminal, in that case what will be the case? In this scenario, if we will consider, if we will calculate the P power, then it will be a V into I, means positive, means it will, if power is, no, it will be negative. If we will apply KVL, by you can consider this one will be a network, and what will be the power. So if we are considering this positive minus, then minus VI will come. So if it will be if it is negative, if it is negative, then then it will deliver the power, same source. But if current will entering it the positive terminal of voltage source, then P will be positive plus Vi. Okay, in this scenario it is like it is absorbing the power, means it will absorb the power. So it will be act like a same voltage source will act like a, in this scenario it is acting like an active element, and in this case it is acting like a passive element, means upon the it depends which element will deliver the power or absorb the power. It depends upon the this situation. If current is flowing from positive terminal of its, in that case it will be an active element and it will deliver the power. And if current is entering at negative at positive terminal of source or of an element, then it will absorb the power, or it will act like a passive element. Okay, so same principle we are applying here. We are considering it as this one is the path of current flowing. Let us consider this one is the I. Okay, this one is the current I. So so what will be the situation if we will apply here? So KVL, so it will be a minus 10 volt first time, minus 10. Then whenever we are applying KVL now loop, in that case first entering point we have to consider it as positive, another point as negative. So that's why we are considering the voltage across this will be 2I. I into R, no? So my plus 2I, because here we have seen this first positive negative terminal is there, no? That's why we have taken minus 10, and here positive sign is there, that's why we are taking it as a plus 2I. And again here first what we are seeing it positive terminal, that's why it will be a plus 5 volt equal to 0. Minus 10 plus 5 minus 5, so I will be I equal to 5 by 2. Okay, means 2.5 ampere. It is positive, it means whatever the current direction we have considered, that one is the true. If it was a negative, in that case it will be we have to change the current flow direction. Okay, so power absorbed by 10-volt source means uh, power absorbed or delivered by 10-volt source. Here we have considered the direction in this direction, clockwise direction, and the sign is like this, means the current direction is this one. So this one will deliver the power. So uh, source V into I, no? So 10-volt source will be 10 into 2.5, no? 2.5, so it will be 25 watt. 25 watt. This one, it will deliver the power. Deliver power. And deliver the power, and power will be delivered when P equal to minus times of VI. So it will be minus 10 minus 25. And P 5 volt will be current is entering at positive terminal of this source. So it will be a 5 V into I 2.5, means it will be a 12.5 positive watt. It will absorb the power. And here also same thing, power is current is entering at positive terminal of it. So P 2 ohm resistance, it will be a I square into R. So current is what, 2.5 I square into R, means R is what, 2. So again it will be a 12.5 watt. It will absorb the power. And what is our objective? We have to find out overall power in the network. Overall power in the network will be 10-volt source is delivering the power of 25 watt, and the 5-volt source is absorbing the power of 25 watt, and 2 ohm resistor is also absorbing the power of 12.5 watt. Okay, so overall power in the network, it will be P 10 volt plus P 5 volt plus P 2 ohm. It will be 25 power absorbed by it, this will be minus 25, no, delivered power absorbed by 5 volt source, it will be a plus 12.5, and the power absorbed by 2 ohm, it will be again 12.5. So it will be a 0 watt. Total power in the network is what, 0 watt. This theorem is known as Caligan's theorem. Means overall power in the network will be equal to 0. Means whatever power will is generating, the same amount of power that have to be absorbed by different sources. This voltage source is acting here as an passive element, but voltage source are generally what is the behavior of that one? Voltage source will deliver the power, but to maintain the power 0 in the network, it is acting like a passive element. Okay, I think it is clear. This total overall power in this network will be equal to 0 watt, and this theorem means this statement comes under the Telegrams theorem. Okay. So now we will discuss about Kirchhoff's law. You are already aware of this thing, Kirchhoff's voltage law and current law, KVL and KCL. I have already studied it in your class 11th or 12th and in your first year. But again, we are discussing it for your information. That, what is KVL? KVL is what? According to KVL, total across the total voltage across any closed loop will be zero. Means total voltage across any closed loop. Let us consider this one is R and this one is inductor L and this one is the capacitor C. Okay, R, L, C. So value of this one is R, L and C, and total voltage across this is what? Vi. Let us consider this one is at positive terminal, this one is at negative terminal, and the voltage drop across the, if this one is the source, so if we are considering this one is the current I, so generally the what is the behavior of resistor, inductor and capacitor? It is a passive element, so current will be entered at positive terminal and left at negative terminal, positive, negative, positive. So this one will be voltage across R, VL, this. If we are applying KVL in this direction on loop, so what will be the first? We are looking at minus VI, first minus VI, then second voltage, the first sign is what? Positive, second sign is negative, so first sign is what? Positive plus VI, and if we reach at element L, then this one is the first sign is what? Positive, so positive plus VL, and capacitor this one is what? So first VC equal to 0. Vi will be, if we are taking it in right hand side, so Vi will be equal to Vr plus VL plus Vc. Okay, means what is KVL? According to KVL, the total voltage across any closed loop will be 0. This one is the KVL. And if we are replacing voltage as compared to energy, so Wi upon Q. What is the definition of voltage? Okay, work done to carry one charge from one position to other position. So WR by Q. plus WL by Q plus WC by Q. If we are removing Q from both the sides, so it will be a WI equal to WR plus WL plus WC. Because of this equation, KVL is known as conservation of energy. In this KVL, it is also known as it is following conservation of energy principle. This KVL is used in mass analysis. What is mass analysis? Mass analysis is nothing but you are applying KVL with Ohm's law. Okay. And this KVL is valid for all types of element. All types of element means it is independent from the nature of element element. Nature of the element means like Ohm's law is valid for constant temperature region. Okay. Likewise, it is independent from the nature of element means uh, R equal to rho L by N. So resistivity and other things or temperature or something like it is not depends on the nature of element. So now we will discuss about KCL. This means you already know what is KCL. KCL is the total current across any node will be zero. Total current across any node will be zero. Means if this one is the node and this one is the current I1, I2, and this one is the current I3, I4. So total, what is case here? Total current across any node will be zero. So if we are considering entering current as a negative and outgoing current as a positive, in this case it will be at this node entering current will be negative. So minus I1 minus I2 plus I3 plus I4 will be 0. So it will be a I1 plus I2 will be equal to I3 plus I4. Okay. If we are taking it as a dq by dt, I will be equal to dq by dt, dq1 by dt, dq2 by dt equal to dq3 by dt plus dq4 by. So from here we can say that q1 plus Q2 will be equal to Q3 plus Q4. Because of this, KCL rule is also known as charge conservation rule. It is following charge conservation rule. KVL is following energy conservation rule, and this one is following charge conservation. From this, one definition came, popular definition. Whenever anyone is asking to you, what is the KCL? In that case, you have to say charge charge accumulation at any node will be 0. Okay. This is the main definition of KCL. Okay. Now, this is applying in nodal analysis. What is nodal analysis? Nodal analysis is nothing but the application of KCL plus Ohm's law. Okay. This method is KCL is independent from the nature of material or nature of element. It is also independent from the nature of okay. But nodal analysis is not independent of the nature of material because it is obeys the Ohm's law also. So what is in general, if we want to say, we have to follow these things. Means what is nodal analysis? The application of KCL and Ohm's law, we have to find out the currents in the network. And what is the mesh analysis? With the application of KVL and Ohm's law, you have to find out the voltage at each element. Okay. I think these things are clear. We have to discuss about what are the voltage division rules and current division rules and how to memorize it, because when you will talk about these things, this one is the small steps that you have to use while solving the network. What is voltage division rule? I think you have already studied in your first semester or first semester, so you need to know that how to apply it. Okay. If a network with impedance Z1 is there, and this one is the impedance Z2, and this one is the impedance Z3. and consider this one is the V1. Then only two things you know. This one is the VI, input voltage VI, and voltage across this one is the V1, and this one is V2, and this one is V3. And this one is the network, and you know already VI is known. VI is known, and Z1, Z2, and Z3 is also known, and you have to find out V1, V2, and V3. These quantities are unknown. Then how you will find out? By applying voltage division. First, what you have to do? You just have to apply KVL in this network. So this one is the, we have to apply the KVL. First sign is what? Minus VI plus, if you are considering this one is the current, I into Z1 plus I into Z2 plus I into Z3. Okay, it will be equal to 0. And what will be the I? I will be VI upon this total now, total impedance Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3. From solving this equation, we will get those values. Okay, and what will be the V1? V1 will be I into Z1, so it will be V1 will be I into Z1, so it will be VI into Z1 upon Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3. Okay, and V2 will be I into Z2, so it will be Vi into Z2 upon Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3. Similar, V3 will be I into Z3, means Vi into Z3 upon Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3. By applying KVL rules also you can find out, but you have to use in complex problems. That's why you have to remember what is happening here. If you want to find out the V1, means voltage across Z1, so V1, if you want to find out the V1, in that case in numerator the impedance will come only is Z1 1. That's why input voltage Vi is there, so Vi into Z1. If you want to find out V2, in that case in numerator Z2 will be there. Okay, and upon total impedance of this of the network. And if you want to find out V3 means only Z3 will be there. Okay, Z3, where in numerator Z3 will be there upon Z3 upon total impedance of the network. Likewise, you can find out the voltage across the network. These voltage division principle is applicable in a series network where voltage is divided. Okay, it is not applicable for a parallel network. In parallel, voltage will be same, and in series, current will be same. I will be same. I is same. Voltage division rule is applicable in series network, and current division rule is applicable in, this is applicable in series network, and current division rule is applicable in which type of network? Current division rule is applicable for parallel network. Okay, now we will now talk current division rule. Current division rule. In current division rule, if if a current source current division rule is applicable for which type of network? Parallel network. Okay, if value of this one R1, R2 and current is I, and your objective, these things are known. I is known, R1 is known, R2 is known, but you have to find out what will be the I1 and what will be the I2. In that case, you have to apply the same KVL and or simple I is what? I1 plus I2. I is what? I1 plus I2. Okay, and voltage across these two elements will be same. So it will be a I1 will be I1 equal to V by R1 and I2 equal to V by R2. Okay, and I is what? I is what? I1 plus I2. So if we will put here I equal to V by R1 plus V by R2, so it will be V into here kept constant R1 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Okay, so it will be R1 plus R2 upon R1 plus R2 upon R1 into R2. V into I will be this. Okay, page also unknown. Likewise, you can find out the current I. I is known, R1, R2 is known. Likewise, you can calculate the voltage across the network. Okay, and if you want to calculate the I1, in that case, what you have to remember, this will be total impedance R1 plus R2. Part of this I is uh, passing through R1 and R2, and what will be the I2? In denominator, total impedance or resistance R1 plus R2 into I. If if this one is I1, in that case here resistance will be R2, opposite resistance. If you want to calculate the I1, in that case you have to consider this other resistance. If this one is the R2, if you want to calculate the I2, in that case other path resistance you have to consider R1. Likewise, you can divide the current. This one is the current division rule. If you know the value of current, total input current I or something like that, so you will get the branch current or path current uh, with the relation of input current. Okay. Likewise, you can calculate these things, and I think for today's discussion, it is so many things. So in next class, we will solve few problems related to current division rule, detention rule, and KCL, KVL, and mass and nodal analysis. And then after we will discuss about different types of sources, and independent source or dependent source, and source transformation technique. Then after we will discuss about different types of theorems. Okay, and if you are having any doubts, so tomorrow at 3 p.m. we will conduct a doubt class. So be available for that. And I will inform in Google Classroom and time, date and time. So you will be available on that day and time. And we will discuss whatever the doubts you are having.